Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Thursday morning to you from the Parmar Store Studio. Welcome to the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, Voice of Charleston, WCHS. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly Hotline, 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The show brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Toyota. Come check out the new Camry, Corolla, RAV4, and more. They're not just selling cars at Thornhill. They're creating unforgettable adventures. Click or come by Thornhill Toyota, WV.com, or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. And we do the show from the Parmar Store Studio. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Parmar invites you to the Mac and Cheese Cook-Off to benefit the Childhood Language Center. It's all happening this Saturday morning. It starts at 11 at Capitol Market. Details available on Dave Allen Radio and Facebook, and the Dave Allen Show on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. And I'm going to be spending some time talking about this Mac and Cheese Cook-Off coming up a little bit later on in the show. As always, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. So we got mac and cheese on the agenda today. We are going to have some politics in there. We got Ryan Weld, who is a candidate for Attorney General, also a state senator. He is going to be joining the show. He'll actually be in the studio with us coming up a little bit later on. But keeping it on the food tip, I want to bring in our good friend Joe Stevens from the Nitro Convention and Visitors Bureau. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, David. How are you?
I am fine. You know, I am not going to spend the entire show, I promise, talking about food, but I do have two food segments today, and one of those I'll get to a little bit later on, and we'll throw some politics in the middle as well. But again, Saturday in Nitro, it's the Wagon Tails and Nitro Ales Beer Fest and Chili Cook-Off. Starts at 11 at the Living Memorial Park there in Nitro. Tell us all about it, Joe.
Well, it's an annual event that we have here in Nitro. It's one of the larger chili cook-offs in the area. It's a sanctioned cook-off, which means the winners in the three categories, home style, chili birdie, and also the traditional red, will be representing the Wagging Tails and Nitro Ales Smoke on the Water edition cook-off at the World Championships in 2024 in Myrtle Beach. But it's a fun time, and it's an event that we use to be able to raise money for not only for the Wagging Tails scenarios, Itty Bitty Kitty, the Charleston Humane Society, Canine Rescue folks, but also hospice in the area will be selling all the tickets for sampling, and all the proceeds from that will be going to hospice. So it's a fun time for everybody to enjoy a day out on a Saturday, and it's also fun that we're raising money for some good causes, David.
Absolutely, and it is always a big event, and everybody looks forward to this one every year. And again, there's all kinds of chili fests in the area, and I've been a part of different ones, and I've judged and things of that nature. I've entered a few as well. But I will tell you, this one is a little bit different, as you said, because this is like competition level, as you said, you win here and you could go elsewhere.
Exactly. We've had representatives from the cook-off each year representing the city of Nitro's event, the Wagging Tails and Nitro Ales cook-off, and that occurs, the cook-off, the national cook-off occurs around September in Myrtle Beach every year, and we've had some folks cooking there each year. Just to kind of categorize the three types of chili that will be judged on Saturday by a group of judges. David, you've judged it before, but we've got the home-style competition, which is basically what you would want to serve at a Super Bowl party. It's an anything-goes type of thing, and you have to use beans in this competition for the home-style category. That is followed up by the green chili or the Verde chili, and that will be also judged. And then the traditional red. The traditional red does not have beans or any type of filler. It's basically beef and broth is the way it is described in the ICS handbook, and we will have that. Along that line, we will also have a People's Choice Award, and that's where the folks at Hospice comes in. They are selling tickets, 2 for $1, and you go around and you taste the chilies, and you have to have a ticket to taste the chilies. Everybody is there's some cooks that are doing just People's Choice, like the Nitro Fire Department is doing People's Choice. Itty Bitty Kitty Committee is doing People's Choice. Cook's Crematorium, Pet Crematorium is doing a People's Choice. The Nitro Police Department is doing a People's Choice. And then all the cooks also have People's Choice chili. And the way you vote is you get a bag of bones, a bag of dog bones, and you will deposit those as many dog bones as you want into the receptacle at the cook's tent. And whoever has the largest poundage of dog bones at the end of the day will be crowned the People's Choice champion of the cook-off, David.
Now, I am presuming that people just want to come and check it out, Joe, because it is going to be in a public place, that you're not really charging admission, so to speak, unless people want to sample the chilies. Is that the way it'll work?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Everything is open. Everything is basically set up on 2nd Avenue from 21st Street to 19th Street, right there in front of Living Memorial Park and City Hall and the Nitro Elementary School. We call it Chili Row, and all the vendors will be intermixed within the cooks. But we will also have craft beers being distributed throughout the day. And again, and it's a really cool thing. The legislature last year passed a new Fairs and Festivals beer license that for nonprofits can do this in a very orderly and legal fashion. And 80% of the proceeds from the beer sales on Saturday will be going to the various charities. So we'll have that. We'll have some food on hand. Some food trucks will be coming in here. A lot of the merchants on 21st Street will be open. A lot of vendors will be happening. So, yes, it's a free you don't have to pay to play, as it may be. But remember, when you do step up and buy some chili and buy some craft beers to go along with it, you are giving back to the community and to the worthwhile causes that we're raising money for. A couple other things, David. Yeah. We will have the Nitro High School DECA Club will be having a booth where they're selling pretzel necklaces. They started it a couple years ago, and a lot of people enjoy that. And the Nitro Show Choir will be having coffee and hot chocolate, as it will be a bit chilly. It's a fall day, and chili and coffee and some beers. It'll be a fun time.
Well, it always is. And here's the thing, going back to chili for a moment, Joe. Again, we're talking with Joe Stevens from the Nitro Convention and Visitors Bureau. The thing about chili that I know is, and I know chili, is it's almost like pizza or hot dogs. People will get into these food arguments over, well, real chili doesn't have this, or real pizza or real hot dogs don't have this, or whatever. The way I look at it is, there's no such thing as bad chili. There's just different types, and I agree with that with pizza and hot dogs and whatnot too. Are you with me on that, Joe?
Straight 100%, David. It's everybody's got a palate. Everybody likes it a different way. The cooks, actually, the majority of the cooks have cooked at the World Championships, and in different locations, they'll gear their recipes to what has been done in the past. Say if you go up in Ohio, maybe the Cincinnati, Columbus area, a sweet chili will win more often than not. Here, it's got to have some backbite to it, some backheat as it may be. It doesn't need to be nuclear. But you'll see some various chilies that will be judged, and again, we've got the judging is a very serious thing. It really is. There's a judges meeting in the morning, and we go over the rules and what to be expected and that sort of thing, and each one steps up and has a really particular taste, and that's what I mean. Somebody asked me one time, "What's it take to be a judge? You got a palate?"
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all you got to do, and you got to drink water with it too, because if you start mixing, and one of the first chili cook-offs that I judge, people said, "Well, I need the crackers," and no, that's not the way it works. You don't add. Everybody drinks the same thing. Everybody has water and that kind of thing. I want to talk about beer for a moment, because this craft beer thing has really exploded nationwide, and West Virginia is a big part of that as well. And it just kind of goes along with the whole ambiance of the day there, Joe, having the craft beers there.
Well, we got the big red tap truck from St. Albans. Will be on hand, and you'll be able to walk up and make a donation as it may be. But we've got Big Timbers from West Virginia will be one of the beers, and for the domestic lovers, we will have domestic also, but we'll have some ciders, we'll have some IPAs, we'll have some sours, a variety of, as people have palates for the chili that they'll be tasting, they also have the palates for the craft beers that we'll be tasting. So we'll have that, and it's just a fun time,
it is
man.
A good time.
It's a fellowship kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the four-legged friends, your four-legged friends are welcome to attend and have some fun also. Absolutely.
And again, that's go over the charitable aspect of it again, just so everybody makes sure that they know where the proceeds go.
Well, first off, an annual thing, and where the Wagging Tails comes from is that we have Itty Bitty Kitty, Canine Rescue, and the Charleston Humane Society will be here, and we will be raising money for them. And then and that's from all the various things that we'll be doing, but also the chili tasting side of things. Hospice gets all of the proceeds, 100%. Of all the tickets for sampling that will be sold. So when you step up and you come out and you're having a good time, you have some feel good about it also, and you can get ready for a big WVU win later that evening. And
also a Marshall win as well. Let's go ahead and throw that in there.
Oh, yes, so of course. There are two teams.
Well, there's several teams, but I mean, Marshall's got Appalachian State, and that's an old rival of ours, so I'm going to be taking on the Mounties of the other Mounties of Appalachian State. Joe, where can people learn more about it? I've got some things posted on my social media, but where can people learn more about it from you?
Yeah, Wagging Tails and Nitro Ales on the Facebook. You can go there. And David, I just want to, we talk about WVU and Marshall, and they're going to be playing and everything. But the University of Charleston cross-country team, the boys, the men and women's cross-country teams will be racing in the regionals. The men's cross-country team won for the 6th straight year of the Mountain East Conference, and the women won for the 4th straight year. Now they're representing West Virginia in the regionals this weekend. So those Harriers, we wish them well also. All right.
Joe, I'll see you Saturday, my friend. Looking forward to it. Quickly, 30 seconds. What did you think about the World Series? Because I know you're a big baseball guy.
Texas beat Mount O's, and they beat up on us pretty well. And everybody was worried about that one pitcher, Haney, I guess it is, and he's the one. It's baseball, man. It's World Series. Enjoy it and understand that in just around 100 days, pitchers and catchers will be reporting. I'm glad that a new team won the World Series. They got bragging rights.
Well, and Mr. Bochy there, the manager. I mean, he made history last night. As did the Rangers, first time they've ever won a World Series. All right, Joe, I will see you Saturday. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, David, and you have yourself a safe one.
All right, Joe Stevens again, Nitro Convention Visitor Bureau. What a great day. I got some information here that was just sent to me. Somebody asked me if I would mention that On Point Customs and My 304 will be there with apparel as well. So we appreciate those folks listening today. They're great folks there, and they sent me a little message there and said that they would be there, and several other vendors will be there as well. So go check it out in Nitro coming up on Saturday. The Dave Allen Show is brought to you by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. From kitchens to paint to decks, straight framing, wood, roofing, metal, and anything else you may need, you're going to find it at General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Great thing about them is, folks, when it comes to the hardware and all that other stuff, locally owned and operated business. So go check them out there in Winfield. 921. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. And the text line for Fruth is 304-935-5008. Going to talk to Steve State Senator and candidate for Attorney General Ryan Weld up next from the Par-Mar Store studio. It is a Dave Allen Show, and it's brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group and the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Are you ready to make every adventure awesome? Look no further than the new Thornhill Toyota. Introducing the 2023 Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. The ultimate companions for your journey. Whether it's the sleek Camry or the adventurous RAV4, we've got the perfect ride for you. And don't forget our unbeatable selection. We've got a ride for every style and budget. At the new Thornhill Toyota, we're not just selling cars, we're creating unforgettable adventures. So why wait? Visit us today and let's make every adventure awesome together. Click or come by at ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. See Thornhill for full details.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and general counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
Want to know how to get the same cell coverage for up to half the cost? Well, instead of spending a fortune building and maintaining their own cell phone towers, Consumer Cellular just pays to use the same towers as the largest carriers and passes the savings on to you. Pretty smart, huh? Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 5 gigabyte data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
Realty Group is a locally owned real estate powerhouse. They specialize in residential and commercial properties. No property too big or too small for Meeks Realty. With their team of the finest realtors in the business, Meeks Realty Group is your trusted partner in finding your dream home or that dream commercial property. Call them today at 304-401-1101 or visit meeks.us. Texas Dave, I'm listening on AM radio driving to work with road noise, so I may have heard wrong, but I swear that twice that guy said itty bitty blank on the radio. It's itty bitty kitty committee. That's what he said. Is that some sort of Nebraska? No, it's itty bitty kitty committee. All right. Kitty with a K. 924. Ryan Weld is with us right now. You got to follow that up.
That's a tough one to follow.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. State Senator and candidate for Attorney General Ryan Weld. How's the campaign going, man?
Good. Busy. You know, I got a full schedule down here in Charleston today. I got a couple of meetings, heading to Greenbrier County later today. Tomorrow we're going to be in Parkersburg. Saturday we got a parade. Going to be at the game in Morgantown, Military Appreciation Games. I'm going to head down there. A lot of traveling. You know,
one of the things that I learned in my time around politics is that you don't, West Virginia is and you traveled all over the world with your military background, but West Virginia is a small state, but it also seems so large because it's so different. When Berkeley County could not be any more different than McDowell County, and Mon County could not be any more different than Mason County. It is by that sense of the definition, Ryan, it is a diverse state. It's very different.
There are also not a whole lot of straight roads here in West Virginia. So every time my wife says, well, okay, we're going there. How long does it take? 2.5. How long does it take to get there? 2.5 hours. How long does it take to get there? 2.5 hours. From the Northern Panhandle, everything is a minimum of 2.5 hours.
It is indeed. How are how's it been so far? And your numbers are looking good as far as the money raised. That's always important.
Things are going well. I think people appreciate a good ground game. And, we make it a point that if there's a parade, a fair, a festival, we're going to be there and talk with people. And, because my wife and I are from one part of the state, the Northern Panhandle. And so, as you just said, we're a bunch of different states wrapped into one. And so
states, cultures, and whatnot.
I love getting out and hearing from other people in other parts of the state. What are their concerns, but also what are their hopes for their future of their neck of the woods? Because it's going to be different from the Northern Panhandle. It's going to be different from the Eastern Panhandle. I mean, Eastern Panhandle right now, they're almost at max capacity in some of those areas, where in the Northern Panhandle, we got a lot of room to spare. And so their concerns out there are different from ours in the Northern Panhandle, same from the southern part of the state. And so I just love getting out and talking with folks.
It's a three-person race on the Republican side between yourself, another state senator, Mike Stewart, and current state auditor, J.B. McCuskey. What makes Ryan Weld the best fit for the job?
My experience. And it goes, you mentioned that I was in the military. And so I was in the Air Force, reservist, but spent, I think just about 6 years straight on active duty. The leadership that I learned there that I'm bringing to the position that I brought to my time in the legislature, but my record in the legislature as well of getting things done, of accomplishing things that I told the people in my district I was going to go to Charleston and work on. There's one particular reason, large reason of why I'm running for Attorney General. Attorney General Patrick Morrison went out and got a massive settlement against the opioid manufacturers that have done an uncalculable amount of damage to our state. And most of that money, about $850 million of it, went to the West Virginia First Foundation. And that foundation is charged with spending that money in order to repair the damage that's been done to us and prevent it from ever happening again in the future. And that money has to be spent on prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, education, law enforcement purposes. And the next Attorney General is going to have the authority to conduct audits of that foundation, but also to conduct performance reviews of that foundation. No other candidate in this race has any experience working in those fields like I do. I got to the legislature and I knew I was going to work on veterans issues. I'm a veteran, I'm chair of the military committee. It made sense for me. But as I got into that, really started to dig into substance abuse and mental health, because you realize just how much that is tied to veterans issues. And it led me down that path of working in those areas. And so this foundation and the money, that $850 million, I think represents this state's best and last opportunity to fix what's been done to us and stop it from ever happening again. And by having the experience that I have, can help ensure that we make the most of that opportunity.
Talking again with State Senator candidate for Attorney General Ryan Weld. I had one of the other opponents of yours on the show the other day, State Senator Mike Stewart. He was on the show Monday. He called it a two-man race now between himself and J.B. McCuskey, who's currently serving as a state auditor. He completely left Ryan Weld out of the equation.
Well, I would agree with him. I think it is a two-man race. But the bad news for him is that he's not one of those people. Fundraising last quarter was very fortunate. Outraised one of my opponents by 5-1 margin, the one you were just talking about. This past quarter, by a little over a 2-1 margin. And so moving forward, who has the ability to get their message out? Who has the ability to connect with the voters on a much broader scale than all the fairs and festivals and parades that we all go to? And that's two people that are in this race. And so, I think that's part of the equation. And then the other part is what we're talking about here, a record of getting things done, being able to lead the office, doing work in these fields that we would have to tackle and take on as Attorney General. Experience in the courtroom, being a litigator, because you can take the position and say, well, I'm a lawyer too. I don't have to be a litigator or have courtroom experience because we have staffers, we have staff attorneys that handle that. Well, the state doesn't hire or the state doesn't elect bureaucrats. The state elects you. The buck stops somewhere, and it stops with the person that they elected to make those decisions, not just farm it out to bureaucrats and say it'll get done that way.
If you are lucky enough to be elected, Senator, what do you hope to do in the office?
So two things. I think first and foremost, being able to defend the rights and interests of 1.8 million West Virginians and the industries that employ them is, first and foremost, a priority for that position. But second, as I was saying, really being able to ensure that we don't waste the opportunity that we have with the West Virginia First Foundation and ensuring that this state gets serious about tackling our substance abuse issues, mental health issues. I think that is the other priority for the position.
How do we do that? How do we tackle these things?
So
I don't expect you to have all the answers, but what kind of a game plan we have?
So first and foremost, on the first side of that, you have to be smart about what cases you get the state involved in and how you go about that. What's the priority for the state? You got to be able to go through that sort of decision making because the future, I think, of West Virginia and a lot of states that are like us are going to be decided in the courtroom, in the federal courtroom. On the other side of that, on the substance abuse issue, you got to make sure that you, again, maximize that opportunity, because you look around the state and the issues that we have, the foster care issues. How are we ensuring that children now who are in school know the dangers of drug addiction so they don't fall into that same path that unfortunately many of their parents have? How do we ensure that we have proper rehabilitation and treatment resources here in the state? And that, again, all goes back to that opioid settlement and spending those dollars wisely.
I think that talking and getting that message out to young people, obviously over the years, Ryan, we haven't done something right, because I'm older than you and I came from the Just Say No generation. We had the DARE programs and everything in the school in the 80s when I was in high school, in junior high and high school. And obviously that didn't work. So we might want to look at another plan.
Well, I think that so part of that, I think, falls into that a lot of people who have addiction issues now kind of fell into that area when doctors were being told by manufacturers. They
weren't necessarily going out just to have fun and get high. That's a very good point on your part.
And it became, obviously, the disaster that it turned into for this state. Because for years we were told, no, it's not addictive. It's not addictive. Don't worry about it. Keep prescribing it for everyone.
Right.
But it was.
Yeah. And sadly we're learning it. Then you take that away and people are going to turn to something else, because they're not just going to magically say, as they, the pill crisis was primarily of the 2000s or mid 2000s or whatever. And they're not just magically going to say, okay, well, the pills are gone. I'm going to drink Kool-Aid now. That's not the way it works. They're going to go find something else. I want to ask you about this, and bear with me on this. You have been linked for your support, sponsorship, whatever you want to call it, with the transfer bill in high school sports. It's been controversial. There have been people on this show and other media outlets that have spoken out against it. There have been many that have spoken and said that they're for it, that they like it. Do you want to say something on the record about that?
Yeah, sure. So the other day, the SSAC put out a number of 342 athletic transfers. Whatever an athletic transfer is, I have no idea, because that's not a term that anybody has ever, do they have proof that all those were for athletic reasons? It's just a phrase that they all of a sudden used. That's 342. And they said, man, we only had 140 hardship transfers in the year and a half prior to that. So look at that jump. Well, it's apples to bowling balls, that 342 to 140. That 342 number also includes bona fide moves. So if you lived in Brooke County and your parents took a job in Kanawha County and you moved, so all of that's included in that 342. And also ninth grade transfers were included in that 342. So they're including a number of categories in that number. That 140 doesn't include bona fide transfers and ninth grade transfers. So they're not giving a full picture. They're inflating a number on one side, but not telling the full picture on another side. I mean, we can all just cherry pick numbers to continue on with the narrative that we want to promote. But that's the disappointing thing, is that they're not being fully forthright with the numbers that they're putting out there. I mean, how can one then make an informed decision when we don't have all the facts?
And that's one of the things I think that some people have said is just, give it time, because we're basing this on, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of middle of the road on the whole thing. But I've heard people say, well, we're basing this on 7-8 weeks into a football season. From some schools in the area in the Kanawha Valley, and I won't call them out, but the ones I'm talking about, that have been down for several years, and so maybe we need to give it time. I've been told by the legislature, and you're still a member of the legislature, and you'll be in session come January, that it's probably not going to go anywhere. I mean, as far as the people that say that they want it, retooled or done away with, that it's probably not going to go anywhere.
I wouldn't expect the legislature to be all that excited about taking choice away from parents and deciding where their children go to school and removing the government interference out of that decision. It's a very small area of the state where this is an issue. It's not an issue in my neck of the woods. talking with coaches all across the state. My stepfather was a high school football coach for over 40 years. And so he knows coaches around the state that I've been able to talk to, and it's not an issue. Mm-hmm. And we just don't have any facts. People say, well, this team, they lost by a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, did the other team have a lot of transfers? I don't know, but I'm just guessing they did. Mm-hmm. Well, if they did, were all the touchdowns scored by those transfers? Probably. Well, we're just lacking facts in all this. And also, I've been involved in athletics for pretty much my entire life. I think you might have a personnel issue in terms of if you're putting 80 points on the board or 70 points on the board. Is that a conscious decision by the coach to do that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all boils down to one of the particular schools, and I won't call them out in the area. They had their freshmen in there playing against the seniors on the other team, and you can't. From a competitive standpoint, right? I don't think you can tell you can't tell a ninth grader don't score against that senior. I don't think that's realistic. I guess you can, but I don't know how far that's going to go. And you're trying to train those for other. But I understand both sides. Before I let you go, somebody had a text about anything you wanted to say about the Second Amendment. There have been some people that have. I just threw my pen across the room. There have been some. Speaking of violence, there have been some people that have raise questions about your support of the Second Amendment. I didn't really understand that. Do you want to go on the record on anything?
Where are they pointing to that? Yeah. I've always been a staunch advocate of the
concealed
Second
carry
Amendment.
Or something like that.
I've supported every piece of legislation on concealed carry, on constitutional carry. I didn't support the campus carry bill a couple years ago because it was tailor-made for the two large universities in the state. I represent two very small schools. It would have been very detrimental to them. Made a couple of changes to that legislation to better help the smaller schools. Voted it out of committee, voted for it on the floor, not an issue. Okay. And so I'm pretty, as someone who their life depended on carrying a firearm every day, I'm a pretty staunch advocate of the Second Amendment.
Are you looking forward, and I don't know if there's any schedule, maybe and I don't, to any sort of on-stage debates or forums or anything like that with the other two candidates? Or
I haven't heard anything.
Anything like that come up that you know of?
I haven't heard of anybody trying to put something together. Obviously, I'd be open to that, to be able to set my record, and contrast it to the record of my opponents and my leadership in contrast to my opponents. And so I would welcome the opportunity, but nothing has been discussed.
But it's still early. It probably will happen. It has in the past. I'd say probably will sometime in the new year. Give me 30 seconds on why people should vote for Ryan Weld.
Well, 30 seconds because, again, of my record in the legislature, of my record of being a leader. When I have said that I'm going to get something done, I have gotten it done. I have been a leader for my district. I've been a leader in the state Senate for the past 8 years. And I've done work and gotten work done on the issues that matter to West Virginians, whether it be substance abuse, whether it be in the criminal law. I've taken up a lot of these topics, veterans issues, and I've moved the flag and made important steps to improve West Virginia.
Where can people learn more about your campaign, what you stand for and whatnot?
RyanWeld.com, and also Ryan Weld for West Virginia on Facebook.
All right. Ryan, I appreciate it. Be safe out there with all this traveling that you're doing from one end of the state to the other, and enjoy your parades and your time up in Morgantown this weekend. We'll talk soon. It's Ryan Weld, state senator, and again, a candidate for Attorney General of the state of West Virginia. 20 minutes away from 9, or 20 minutes away from 10, I should say. Phone calls to the show, our service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, and our texting service is provided by Fruth Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. We are back after this from the Parmar Stores studio. It's Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Are you ready to make every adventure awesome? Look no further than the new Thornhill Toyota. Introducing the 2023 Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. The ultimate companions for your journey. Whether it's the sleek Camry or the adventurous RAV4, we've got the perfect ride for you. And don't forget our unbeatable selection. We've got a ride for every style and budget. At the new Thornhill Toyota, we're not just selling cars, we're creating unforgettable adventures. So why wait? Visit us today and let's make every adventure awesome together. Click or come by at ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. See Thornhill for full details.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
Are you seeking ways to enhance your company's IT workforce? Bridge the workforce skills gap with Bridge Valley's IT training. Elevate your business capability with custom-tailored IT training that empowers your employees with certifications, continued education, and more. The best part? Training is low to no cost to your company. Bridge Valley can also feed a steady stream of skilled graduates and apprenticeships with a 50-50 salary match while training. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today.
"17 minutes away from 10. Dave Allen Show brought to you by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Well, did you know that Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap? Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match, and Bridge Valley also can supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Text says, politics needs to stay out of sports in our schools. My community is suffering because of the worst bill ever, according to a texter. Text says, do the Republican candidates have the same writer because they all give the same answers to the questions? Text says, Ryan Weld is saying teams shouldn't score as many points as they can. What is he, some kind of liberal? I don't think that Ryan would be considered to be a liberal. Text says, what job in the Air Force Reserves requires someone to carry a firearm as their job to protect their life? Did Weld get go in on attack missions as an Air Force reservist? I don't. I know he served in the military. Next time Ryan is on, we'll fully explain his role in the military. And he's listening right now. I'm sure he'll text me or something. But I promise we'll get fully into that the next time that he's on the show. Text says, where was Patrick Morrissey in all this Department of Corrections debacle? He's charged with protecting the legal interest of our state. Looks like he and his office really dropped the ball on this one, according to a texter. Now, I promised that this was going to be a food show, or at least two segments of it. Megan Cutlip, the executive director for the Childhood Language Center, is here to talk about mac and cheese. The mac and cheese cook-off Saturday, 11 at Capitol Markets, a benefit for the Childhood Language Center. Megan, good morning.
Good morning.
What have I gotten myself into? They tell me I'm going to be a judge for this thing. Joe Stevens has got me to try to be a judge for chili in the afternoon and nitro, so I'm going to start my day at Capitol Market with mac and cheese. Going to be fun in my house come Saturday night, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Ruth Ann. Talk about this big event. How's the whole thing work over there?
All right. Well, this is our 9th annual mac and cheese cook-off. It was sort of the brainchild of Matt Sutton, who was on our board at the time.
Wait a minute. Matt Sutton and brainchild? Not buying it. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, he thought, what can we do in West Virginia that isn't really done? So 9 years ago, they came up with this idea, and it has just exploded. We have 32 teams participating or competing, I guess you could say. So you're going to have your hands full, or should I say your belly full, by the end of this. Most amount of teams we've ever had compete.
How many teams do we have?
32.
32, okay.
Yeah. And then all the proceeds go to the Childhood Language Center. So we do free speech therapy for kids in all of West Virginia, really. We see about 140 kids a week. So our goal for this event is to raise enough money to provide 16 children with free speech therapy for a year.
So I've been asked to be a judge. I know my buddy Stephen Keith there, the food guy from the Gazette Mail, is going to be judging. Tony the Tailor So obviously you don't have any standards in your judging. Steve Bishop from our sister station V100,
and he takes it very seriously. Bishop.
Steve Bishop takes everything seriously.
Yes,
and Mackenzie Spencer of Festival I posted something about it last night. I actually talked to Mackenzie last night. So check this out. I'm going to get my buddy Steve at East Coast Tees. Mackenzie and I talked about this. We are going to have T-shirts for me and her that say mac and cheese.
Oh, that's cute.
She being
that's
the mac,
cute.
me being the cheese.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yes, very cute. Oh, I should have thought of that to sell shirts like that. That'd be cute.
With our pictures on them.
Yeah.
With proceeds benefiting me. Now we'll give it all back if that way. We'll work on that for next year. So if the public shows up at Capital Market, how does it work for them?
Sure. So you can buy your tickets now online. We have a Facebook event page. You can look that up. I think it's the CLC's Mac and Cheese Cook-Off. And there's a link on there through Eventbrite where you can buy your tickets. We've sold already about 100. I will be honest, the doors open at 11. Get there early if you have not purchased your tickets, because they start lining up at 10:30. We expect about 2,000 people there. That's about the norm for the last 4 or 5 years. So you can buy them at the door. You can pre-buy them. It's the same price, $10 for adults, all you can eat, $5 for kids, all you can eat. We will have waters available. This is the first year we're able to provide water. Usually people are asking us, oh my gosh, we're so thirsty. So we have water, and Dutch Miller Subaru is actually providing that. And then we will have beer available for purchase. And it's supposed to be a beautiful day.
It is.
So mac and cheese and beer and just live music. It will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, Megan Cutlip is here, and all the proceeds will benefit the Childhood Language Center. How many kids do you serve approximately?
We see 140 a week.
And so when you say you see these kids, what exactly do you do for them?
So we provide speech therapy. We see kids with autism or apraxia or just a speech delay, all different issues are going on, but we see them there's some that come from Pocahontas County, from Boone County, from Logan, Greenbrier. I mean, they come from all over West Virginia. We also see them virtually. So if it's a long trek to our office, we do see you virtually. So we've able to accommodate. That was from COVID. Actually, we were able to accommodate a lot more kids that way. And it's once a week for 30 minutes, and it's totally free.
And one of the great things I like about looking at the line, and by the way, I've got some information available on my social media. It's Dave Allen Radio and Facebook, and also it's the Dave Allen Show on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. But you've got several different types of businesses that are entering this competition. I mean, it's not just restaurants. There are your restaurants there, but there are also a lot of organizations that are entering their mac and cheese. I had no idea there were that many different types of mac and cheese. I guess I'm about to find out, right?
You are about to find out. We have, like I said, we have 32 this year. Usually our max is about 20, but we run out of mac and cheese so early that we said, hey, we have to really amp this up. So my committee, which are community members in our area, they really stepped it up. So we have the pitch this year. We have a church, New Horizons Church, a nonprofit, Hope for All, Capital Insurance Group. He comes out every year with his famous recipe.
Is this my buddy Don?
Don, yeah. Oh, you'll hear him, and you will see him.
Well, I don't really take Don seriously because he's a Washington football fan, and I'm a Cowboys fan. So yeah, I don't really care.
Well, I won't hold that against you.
Okay, I can cut your mic anytime, just so you know that. But again, you have all these different organizations that are out there, and I know that the folks at the Regatta,
as I say, Sternwell Regatta and Regatta Pro Wrestling.
So pro wrestling and mac and cheese. I mean,
the People's Elbow mac and cheese.
Okay, the people. Why do I think Adam Harris has something to do with this?
I don't know. I think it's Matt Sutton.
Okay, Matt. Okay, of course, that'd be one of those guys. All right, we got to go. So I've got information again posted on my social media. Give us the more official sites where people can learn more about it.
You can go to our Facebook page, Childhood Language Center, and you'll see our event there. You can learn. You can stay updated on everyone who is participating, all of our sponsors, and you can buy your tickets from there. And if not, you just show up at the Capital Market, 11 to 2 Saturday.
But get there early, you said.
I say get there early because you have more of a chance to taste all this delicious mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And again, the weather's going to be absolutely great. And there's all kinds of activities going on. But this is one that's been going on for a number of years. And again, information is available there on their social media and also mine as well. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect. I've never done chili and I've done these different competitions and whatever, but I've never done mac and cheese. So I'm looking forward to being a judge.
It'll be fun.
Thank you. I'm sure. Megan Cutlip, I appreciate you being here. We're going going to take a break. The Dave Allen Show brought to you in part by your local insurance experts from Brightway, the Maze Agency of Taze Valley. From your home to your car, even to your pet, Brightway, the Maze Agency can customize the perfect insurance plan for you. At Brightway, the Maze Agency, they aren't just agents, they're your friends and your neighbors. They're really, really good people. I know them personally. So go talk to John and Sherry May today, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymaze.com. We're back after this from the Parmar Store studio. It is the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group and the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and General Counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
Are you ready to make every adventure awesome? Look no further than the new Thornhill Toyota. Introducing the 2023 Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. The ultimate companions for your journey. Whether it's the sleek Camry or the adventurous RAV4, we've got the perfect ride for you. And don't forget our unbeatable selection. We've got a ride for every style and budget. At the new Thornhill Toyota, we're not just selling cars, we're creating unforgettable adventures. So why wait? Visit us today and let's make every adventure awesome together. Click or come by at ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. See Thornhill for full details.
I knew with this pregnancy something didn't feel right.
I was scared. I was scared a lot of the time because I just felt like no one heard me.
I'm glad I didn't stop at no. And I'm glad someone finally heard me. Someone finally listened to me.
Black women are more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications. Learn the warning signs and be the one to hear her concerns. Visit cdc.gov/hearher. It could help save her life.
So away from Tam, the Dave Allen Show brought to you by Huston's Pizza. This month at your local Huston's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and 10 cheese sticks, only $21.99. Visit HustonsPizza.com for details. Going back to the Ryan Weld interview, somebody said, is he really going to say a former U.S. District Attorney isn't in the race? Well, I think he was basing, this was Ryan Weld referring to Mike Stewart, I think he was basing it on the money raised. And if you look at the money that's been raised so far, if I'm correct, and I don't have the figures in front of me, Stewart was in third, and Weld and McCuskey had raised more money. But remember, Mike Stewart on the show on Monday said that Ryan Weld wasn't in the race. So the only thing they can both agree on is that J.B. McCuskey is in the race. That's not an endorsement of J.B. McCuskey by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that one is saying that one of the other ones, well, two are saying that one isn't in. Does that make any sense at all? Got a phone call. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on the show. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. What can we do for you?
Yes, I'd like to remind everybody that there is a water rate hearing at the PSC at 5:30 this evening, and I'd like to get everybody to show up.
Okay, now where is this located?
It's on Broad Street at the PSC building.
Okay, and I'm not aware of this, so tell me. So tell me about the meeting.
Okay, well, it's basically the PSC is taking public comment on the water rate increase from West Virginia American Water. And as most people know, West Virginia already has the highest water rates in the nation. And apparently that isn't enough for the water company. And they're wanting more. So I think everybody's going to have to get involved, and we're just going to have to go down and let them know how we feel about it. I really don't know that the PSC is going to listen, because I don't think they've listened in the past. But until everybody gets together, I don't think they will. But I think if everybody gets behind it, I think we maybe have a chance to stop it.
Okay, and again, the meeting is where and when?
At 5:30 this evening at the PSC building on Broad Street.
And this is like a public comment, like you said, like a public hearing, sir, right?
Right, correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you letting everybody know about it, and thanks for calling the show. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, it's 4 minutes away from 10. Dave Allen Show brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Whether you're replacing a roof, remodeling a kitchen, or replacing a bathroom to keep it safe and keep it legal, get with Pinnacle Consultants. They can inspect your site, collect samples, perform lab analysis, and provide results within about a week. Testing all renovations for mold, asbestos, and lead. It's a law. It's quite frankly, it's a law. You got to do it in West Virginia. PinnacleCorp.net is the website for more information. Again, PinnacleCorp.net for Pinnacle Consultants, because what you don't know can hurt you. Lead story, WVMetroNews.com this morning by Brad. The administration of Governor Justice has fired 2 people in connection with the mishandling of potential evidence in the class action lawsuit due to poor conditions at the Southern Regional Jail. Brad Douglas, who was the former interim corrections commissioner and and also a recent executive in the jail system, along with a gentleman by the name of Phil Sword, who was the chief counsel for Homeland Security, has been terminated. That according to the governor's chief of staff, Brian Abraham. Now, it's a lengthy story, and it's getting lengthier by the day. Just go check out Brad's story, WVMetroNews.com. Unrelated, but somewhat related, 2 former corrections officers there at the Southern Regional Jail are due in court today for alleged abuse of some of the residents, clientele, if you will, of the jail, and we will be following that story closely. In the meantime, lots of people still trying to clean up, believe it or not, after the floods of August. The governor has submitted a request to the Biden administration and FEMA for individual assistance for the flooding that devastated areas of Kanawha County, but not just Kanawha. Also, Clay County was hit hard, certain areas, Boone County, Calhoun, and Harrison County. So it's kind of a wide swath of an area here. Jeff has the story posted about it at WVMetroNews.com. They are reviewing that, the Biden administration is, from what I understand, but now the governor has gotten involved submitting a request to the administration and FEMA for individual assistance for those that were affected by the flooding. A couple of quick programming notes. Hoppy is actually going live on location today at the Municipal League. And I got a chance to see the rundown of all the mayors that he's got on. It's like Think Mayor Monday that I do on steroids, because he's going to talk to a lot of different mayors from around the state of West Virginia to kind of get, it's kind of what I do on Monday, but it's much larger scale, because what they're going to do is that Hoppy's going to learn. He's going to talk to these mayors about what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, what they could do better. How, as I said, the thing about West Virginia is, and somebody ridiculed me when I said this on the air one time, but I said that West Virginia was a diverse state. What I mean by that is that, again, as I was talking to Ryan Weld about that earlier, areas of Wood County are nothing like areas of Monroe County. Areas of Mingo County, nothing like areas of Ohio County. And so it's interesting when you get all of these folks together to talk about these things, and they learn about what's, as I said, what's right, what's wrong, what can we do different going on in the different cities. That's what Hoppy's going to be doing. I'm looking forward to listening to that. It's coming up at 10:06 this morning. Again, I will not be here tomorrow. I've got some business commitments. Dale Cooper will be in as the guest host on the show tomorrow, and his special guest host, the guest host of the guest host, is going to be the always entertaining, love this guy, Chef Paul Smith will be the judge on I'm thinking about Judge and chili and mac and cheese this weekend. He'll be the guest host on the show tomorrow. Chris Lawrence will be stopping by. Also, Hannah Gardner will be here tomorrow as well. I'll be back on Monday, though, so I will see you at all these big food events. They're going to fill me full of food this weekend. I'll see you Monday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM, 96.5 FM Charleston, and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.